morning, this is Dave Weiss from Amok with a video blog for the week, and I wanted to start off today with just a little bit of honesty. I wanted to share something about Amok. You know, I think a lot of people look at things and think that they're more than they are. Amok, I have to tell you the truth, has been a series, for a long time it's felt like a series of false starts. I've tried to get things going and they haven't quite gotten there, and so I'd try something else and try something else, and for a while I really was questioning whether or not it was what I was supposed to be doing. But you know what I've seen as I've moved along, what I've started to see is that it really wasn't a series of false starts. What it really was a series of building blocks, a foundation for what we're starting to do now. And it's really becoming pretty exciting. You know, everything starts with a vision, and God's given me this vision. He's given it to me for quite some time. But it's always kind of looked like a series of projects. I'll be doing videos here and cartoons there and a ministry resource every so often and those kind of things. And, you know, and after a while it starts to feel a little bit jumbled. But, you know, again, I think it's really just been building blocks for what God is starting to do now. And so what I really encourage you to do today is, if you feel like you've got a vision from the Lord, just be faithful. Just do the things that God lays on your heart to do, and just take your time and get them done. Now I wanted to start today in talking a little bit about vision. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time today, but I did want to share with you that I'm starting to read a really excellent book. The book is called Visioneering. It's written by Andy Stanley, and it's a great book. And it really is helping me to kind of look at my vision for Amok and start to really guide it in the direction that I think God is leading. And Andy says this. He says there are 4 components of an effective vision: the problem, the solution, the reason something must be done, and the reason something must be done now. And today I want to just sort of focus on the problem as I see it. Now this is what the problem that the Lord has laid on my heart for my ministry. But what I'm hoping is, as you see the problem that the Lord's laid on my heart, that you'll start to look at what problem God has laid on your heart for you to solve, because that's really where vision comes from. Vision is really about solving problems, things that lay on the Lord's heart. For me, the problem is threefold. The first part of the problem is very simple. There are so many people in this world who do not know Jesus Christ. There are so many people who are living without the hope of the resurrection that Jesus brings. And to me, that is the foremost problem in our world today. It may not seem like the foremost problem to you, but that's what God has laid on my heart. So that's where it all begins. The second part of the problem to me is what Jesus stated it for us. He said that the harvest is ripe, but the workers are few. And what he's really saying is there are all these people out there, all these people who need to know Jesus, who he wants to draw to himself, but there aren't enough workers to bring in the harvest. And you know, God will take care of that problem. He really will. And he will bring workers into the harvest. But the harvest is ripe, the workers are few. And the third part of the problem is something that really weighs on my heart. Maybe it's because I'm a pastor, I'm not sure, but I think it's pretty much a universal problem. There's about 20% of the people in the church who are doing about 80% of the work. So while we have a situation where the harvest is ripe and the workers are few, we also have a situation where there's a lot more people who could be workers for the harvest. And what God has laid on my heart for Amok and for the vision for my life is the fact that these people that are in the church who aren't really doing anything, it's not necessarily because they don't want to. It's because either they can't see how their gift can be used, or that their churches can't see how their gift can be used. But either way, there's a problem, and there's a pretty simple solution. And the simple solution is found in the verse that God has laid on my heart. And that solution is very simply this: each one should use whatever gifts he has received to serve others. I'm going to stop going into the solution today because I want you to identify your problem. What is the problem that God has laid on your heart that you know you need to do something about? And then just start to formulate this idea. Don't spend a lot of time on it until we talk about it the next time, unless the Lord leads you to. But start to think about how your gift could be used to solve that problem. So anyway, that's the thing. Figure out your problem for today. Now don't worry, we're not going to bask in negativity here, because the truth of the matter is, if we're faithful, God will succeed on our behalf. But start there. Start with identifying the problem, the thing that God laid on your heart. We call it a burden sometimes in the church. What's the burden on your heart? Figure that out for today. May God bless you as you seek His will. Pray first, and then seek His vision for your life. God bless.